I am Manifestation Coach Kiana Devine, and I'm coming to speak with you about my latest and greatest piece of work. It is entitled The Subtle Art of Giving a Fuck, Manifesting My Dream Life in 12 Weeks. This piece of work is magnificent because it takes you through a whole 12-week transformation. Now, I live by and I also teach that proper planning prevents piss poor performance. And what that means to me, what does that mean? What that means to me is that if you have a vision, you make it vivid, you make it plain, you make it vivid, you're very clear about it, you can tell anybody about it, it's very descriptive, and you follow that vision up with a plan, then that means that the vision with a plan and action put behind it, anything can come into fruition. So that is basically what this whole piece of work is based around. I'm so excited. I'm so proud of it. The Manifesting My Life in 12 Weeks actually it originated from the idea of a workbook. Okay. It originated from the idea of putting these work pages together that someone can actually see and touch, that's tangible, and that will allow them to sit there and sculpt out and create the vision that they have on paper so that they can see it, so they can believe it. Remember, a belief is only a practice thought. So, this piece of work, it has many inspirational messages, and it's like a walkthrough type of mastermind. And so in the very beginning, you walk through encouragement. It's kind of like an introduction of telling what to expect, everything that you'll need, kind of like an orientation of the whole situation. And during the orientation, a really, really cool part about it is that you get to take a life assessment test. Now, this life assessment test is taken online, and you'll get the results pretty much instantaneously, and it will allow you to see kind of generally what you may want to focus on throughout this 12-week period as far as like growing in your personal and professional life. And then after that, we get into the meat and potatoes. Now, originally, this was positioned to be like a springtime cleaning. And as it was developing, I thought, this is not just a springtime cleaning. Springtime cleaning actually happens 4 times a year for my clients and I, because we live by the 12-week year. Brian Moran, he put together this phenomenal book called The 12-Week Year, and that is what I teach from. As you know, that is what I live by. And I encourage all of my clients to live this way as well, because it helps to manifest and bring life to life. And it helps you to manifest things in a block. And once you look back on that block, it's like a continuous flow of you being or becoming or stepping into what it is that you actually want to be, because it holds you accountable 4 times a year versus you just being held accountable in the beginning of the year and then you falling off and then you never get back up. Well, living and breathing by the 12-week year, you are you put a plan together and you execute that plan as long as you possibly can. And then when the next 12-week period comes, you're able to reflect on that and see how you did. And if you fell off, you have the opportunity to get back up. So when you look at your year at the end of the American or the international year that we've created for ourselves, it looks like you were on a continuous flow, on a continuous path of manifesting every single thing that you want. So I kind of took that concept of that 12-week year and created like this phenomenal piece of work behind it. And so one of the things that we really get the opportunity to dive into are the 10 dimensions of wellness. So yeah, we get to dive into the 10 dimensions of wellness. Now, the 10 dimensions of wellness are all of the key components that are categorized that make up our whole entire lives. It kind of makes up who we are, how we act, what we pay attention to, how we spend our money, all of that. We get into the 10 dimensions of wellness and we basically do a cleaning. We sweep everything out, we mop everything out, and we take out the garbage of the things that are not beneficial to us in the dimensions, in the little pockets of our lives. And so that's really exciting, but that is the bulk of the work. So it takes a while to clean out all of those 10 dimensions, because we are going into our finances. We are tapping into our spiritual realm. We are really getting into it to make sure that we declutter and make sure we rid ourselves and take out the trash that we no longer need. Living by the 12-week year, it is vital to do this step, because 4 times a year we get to take out trash. Most of the time, the average person only takes out trash once a year. Think about if you've been holding on to some thoughts or some feelings or some actual physical material things, or not forgiving, or not letting go, or just all of these different things that could kind of block us from our quote unquote blessings. Think about if you've been holding on that for the whole year, versus if you get rid of these things periodically, intentionally. That means you rid yourself of these things on a deliberate basis. You're willing to relinquish these things and ask yourself for forgiveness, or ask others for forgiveness, or repair this, that, and the other, versus doing it only once a year. This is a powerful improvement to the human experience, to be able to recover incrementally instead of having to try to do all the recovering, all the mending, and all of everything once a year. Okay, so that's the really cool part. We get to, take out the trash in all the dimensions of our lives, and we get to do this on a regular basis. Okay, the next part that we do is, it's called Man is Maker of His Life. So we get to go through all the key components of how man makes his life and makes his day we get to go through all the secret components of how man actually creates his life, and kind of do a clean out with all of that. And that's more of like the spiritual, and that's more of the spiritual and mental aspect. When we clean out the 10 dimensions, those are more tangible, more, so yeah, that's more tangible things that we can actually touch and move around physically. But when we work on the next part, which is Man is Maker of His Life, that's where we get to really tap into that spiritual part of us, as well as the mental part of us, and we really get to work on our thoughts and our ideas and our perceptions, the way we think, and our decisions and the conclusions that we come to. And so that is very powerful. So we're continuing to do a clean out. We're taking out trash. All right. So one of the things that I think is very fun is when you take out trash, you're taking out trash with the intent of bringing in more of what you want. Okay. So we have to rid ourselves of unnecessary baggage in order to allow more things to come into our world, because we only have so much capacity that we can occupy as a human being. We only have 24 hours in a day, 365 days a year. And with that time, we only can do but so much. So we've created a whole separate section of the course that is powerful. And so it's called the ABCs of Collapsing Years into Decades. It's called the ABCs of Collapsing Years into Decades. So the first part of this piece of work is cleaning out everything that is not good for you. The second key part of this piece of work is bringing in the new. And so with the ABCs of Collapsing Years into Decades, we get to focus on what it is that we're going to bring in. We get to pick 10 things that we're going to bring into our lives. Any 10 things that you want, we get to align with these things. We get to empower these things, and we get to connect to actually make these things come into fruition. Okay. And along with that, I introduce the 12-week year planner. I explain to you how to fill this planner out, and we actually get to fill this out. So when you're done with this whole entire course, you have cleaned out every single thing that you need to clean out in your reality, things that are not of benefit to you, and you have restored yourself with things that you are wanting to bring into fruition in your life in this next chapter of your life. I am totally proud of this piece of work, The Subtle Art of Giving a Fuck, Manifesting My Dream Life in 12 Weeks. It is absolutely amazing. Like I said, not only do you get the support, the lectures, the coaching, the guidance, but you also get the manual to make all of your dreams come into fruition, and you're actually able to see it. Now, this particular piece of work was designed to be like a weekend type of course. It was designed for you to sit with your loved one, your accountability partner, and just really go through the flows of, cleansing yourself and then restoring yourself with everything that's new. And this is to be done once a quarter, okay? Or once every 12 every 12 weeks, depending on when you are starting the journey. So I'm excited for you guys to get this piece of work. I'm excited for to see new change and freshness. And the great part about living on a 12-week year is that you get to start over every 3 months. You get a refresher, and you get to see what you have accomplished during that previous 12 weeks. And, being able to feel accomplished is like one of the most powerful feelings in the whole entire world. To know that you are living on purpose, to know that you are living in alignment with that in which you are, to know that you are deliberately manifesting, allowing those things to come into your world that you want. So this is the subtle art of giving a fuck, manifesting my dream life in 12 weeks, kind of like a summary. I can't wait to see you guys. First of all, in the course, in the mastermind, in the masterclass. I can't wait to see you there. And in addition, I cannot wait to see you pick up the book. All of this information is going to be created into a very powerful book so that it can touch millions of people internationally. So I am blessing that. I'm excited about it. I can't wait for it to expand even more. And yes, I am your manifestation coach, Kiana Divine. Don't forget to click the links below in the description box, as well as in the bio of this video, so that you can register for the class. All the information will be above or below so that you can purchase your seat, register for your seat, and get your workbook, as well as pre-order a copy of the actual book. I love you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you in the masterclass.